And you're about to hear a commercial that is not TSN related. Now, the reason why I'm telling you that is there was a huge flame on Tribal War a couple months back. Someone got really upset because they thought we were advertising.
Advance your career with University of Phoenix,
Hey,
the
there you go.
nation's largest private university.
We are. It's my hometown.
Hello.
Hey, Cheater.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, you know what? You were loud and clear, man. You were sounding good.
All right.
Glad to have you at TsN Warwitch. Boy, all right, I'm sorry. I got a little confused. You wouldn't believe the private messages I've got, like 2,000.
I'm sure.
And you asked me this question. What exactly is the question? It's a good question for the Tribes community dialed in. Go for it.
I think the question goes with my thinking on what UVALAN is all about. When we had our first LAN party, it was kind of during a lull in Tribes 1. It was right after IE left the OGL ladder. There wasn't a whole lot going on. There were maybe 10 teams that were vying for the top spot, but there was a lot of disinterest below there, it seemed like to me. And part of the whole thing, putting the first one together, was to kind of open things up for the whole Tribes community and make it an interesting game again, get people meeting each other. And, of course, after we did that, we decided to put together UVALAN 2. And it just happened to be in kind of the same lull where a lot of people had been away to school, or away from schools, and so they didn't have their access lines. And they were just getting back to school, but they wanted to play Tribes before they went back to school. And so there were a lot of people that weren't playing who came to UVALAN 2, and now we've got UVALAN 3, and this is definitely a Tribes 2 event. And you know, I'm just kind of wondering what's going to happen to the tournament at UVALAN 3. Is it going to make things more interesting? Is it going to make things more fun? Are people going to discover how other people are playing? A lot of questions there, and I just wanted to kind of pose that to the community itself.
I see what you're saying. Very, very good point indeed. And I personally think, as you guys feel free to discuss that out there on the main channel, is actually being here in the presence of your fellow Tribers going to, increase your fervor for playing the game and maybe ease a little of the tension that we've seen on the forums. I guess, Cheater, myself included, I can't really throw myself out of this mix. But the Tribes 2 community, especially on Tribal War, we tend to whine quite a bit, don't we? We tend to whine and complain. And myself included, only when I couldn't shoutcast the game. So, is this LAN going to reinforce a sense of, you know what, we all play this game, let's just have fun playing it, or not? And in my opinion, Cheater, I think it's going to. I think people, when they meet each other in person, especially with the number that is showing up, it can only have a positive reaction ultimately in the end.
Absolutely, and the other thing is that we're going to have both of the shoutcast crews there. And we're not going to have tournaments going on all the time, but we're going to have people shoutcasting, just talking to people around the LAN party and talking to people in IRC. And I think it's my way of bringing the community together. It always has been. But I'm wondering what's going to happen with two shoutcasting crews there doing lots of stuff, letting people at home see what's going on. And really bringing people together. Is that going to cut down on the whining? Is that going to make it more fun? There's just, so much going on Tribal Wars that is just not a whole lot of fun.
I definitely. It's interesting to see how a game can be transformed from a pastime into sort of a kind of a career, like a job in which you love and hate, and I think that happens with people when they devote a lot of their life to a game. I've seen it with myself in Tribes 1. I saw it with myself in games like, UO, etc., that you devote so much of your time to the game that it almost becomes it almost does become work in which to actually play it. And I think a big part of the UVA 3 is going to be to reintroduce the element of just go and have fun. And for that, I think is what I'm really looking forward to the most.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there for sure.
It's
yeah. The shoutcasting that we had at UVA Land 2 was so top-notch, and yet all we had was a 56K connection at the hotel. We've got this T1 line coming in, and there'll be it's unlimited bandwidth. I mean, it's going to be just unbelievable. And, you know, sitting right there outside of D.C., we're on a trunk line that'll carry us anywhere and everywhere. They'll be listening to us from the other side of the world, I'm sure.
You know, I myself am really excited, making a lot of plans with Cold Shot for the TsN, for example. You know, first would like to thank you for the room that we have. I guess we have a little section or something like that. I'm a little confused, but it'll be cool just to sit with the TsN guys.
Yeah.
You know, and get set up a little ahead of time. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody and shoutcasting. But I'm not going to bring my own computer, actually. I'm not going to play because I'm so devoted to shoutcasting and meeting and interviewing people that's I'm going to use the TsN base station and pretty much shoutcast from there. And I think that will add a lot of excitement to what is going to be an excellent LAN. LANs have really grown. This is really amazing for me to see because I have had friends in the past that have organized LANs, but never to this extent. And in the history that I can think of as a gamer, what you have organized here is basically the largest LAN that I have ever seen. And 300-plus people at UVA playing T2 primarily with Counter-Strike, UT, and Tribes 1. That's quite the endeavor on your part.
Well, this is definitely the largest LAN that is dedicated to one specific game. I didn't think it was possible that we would ever get this many people together to play this game, to tell you the truth. And as everyone knows, you know, we sold out in 6 days.
Exactly. I've had a great time laughing at people who are not going. Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a LAN. And we laugh. I just laugh. We got little commercials that we play, and I just like to laugh at people. Because my thing is I missed, like UVA 2, I missed the Gala, I missed all these big events. And I was so kicking myself at home listening to them being shoutcasted. I'm like, why did I not show up? So I have shelled out the big bucks to fly out there to D.C., and I'll be there. It's like a $500 plane ticket just to fly out.
Where are you from?
Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a big flight for me.
Well, I'm hoping that Pub Night will do a stand-up again. He does a great stand-up, you know.
You know, as far as I know, I think he's definitely up for doing that. I know he's coming down from wherever he's from, Canada, somewhere up there.
Yeah.
And he's really looking forward to it.
I'm hoping to wear the shorts again. Have you seen his shorts?
I haven't.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, he wears shorts.
I hear he's kind of a small guy, not the tallest guy in the world.
Well, I got to tell a story here.
Okay.
We'll digress for just a second. But he walked into UVA Land, too, and he said, hi, I'm Pub Night. And I was standing at the door. I think I was the first one to greet him. And I said, there is no way in hell you are Pub Night. Pub Night is like this huge guy, heavy armor, lots and lots of weapons. You are not Pub Night.
That's right. I guess he lost some weight and forgot the weapons at home.
He's a great guy. No, he's unbelievable. But he and Wonder Dog sat through UVA Land too, and I don't think they took a break for probably 16 hours of shoutcasting.
You know,
they were incredible.
Yeah, I heard a little story from them themselves saying just how much effort they put into that. They're like, we have never shoutcasted so much in our life. And thankfully for the TsN, we have I think 15 or 16 staff members showing up. So I mean, we're going to provide on our end basically 24-hour coverage. You know, when one shoutcaster drops, the other will just grab the mic from the floor as he collapses.
Yeah, well, we're going to provide both TsN and WSN with a broadcast booth kind of arrangement. And you'll be in a real nice prominent spot so that you guys can do your shoutcasting, and you can sit around and the people can come and meet you, and you can sit and interview players, and just have a good time.
Now, what was the motivation? Tribes 2 being the primary game. Of course, people with LANs will tend to play with other games, but I did notice that you have incorporated within the website itself talk of Tribes 1, which is a granted. People love Tribes 1. Counter-Strike and Unreal Tournament as well. Anything special planned for those other games, or is it pretty much all geared mainly for T2?
The only thing that we're doing anything special for, I think, is going to be Tribes 1.
Okay.
The Counter-Strike and UT people, are free to play. We'll throw up the servers. People want to play on them. It's a good, just kind of a change of pace. I'm still playing Tribes 1 personally. I have a lot of trouble getting into Tribes 2. I have a son who's right here with me, and he's real into Tribes 2 right now. His name is Commander Keen, if anyone wants to know. But he's totally into Tribes 2, and he's actually gotten pretty darn good.
Yeah, Tribes 2 is just an altogether different creature. It really is. Anyone just dialing in.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's a totally different game, and I'm real happy with it when I am playing it, but I have to gear myself up and actually tell myself this is not Tribes 1. And, I've talked to my brother, Old School, and Old School just absolutely refuses to play Tribes 1 anymore because it ruins his Tribes 2 timing.
Yeah, it's really, you would think a game with a spin fuser, it would be a lot alike. And yeah, there's just, it's a whole other world, a whole other creature, and just a lot of dynamic changes that have been made. Tribes 1, in my opinion, was probably the better game out of the two. Tribes 2 has had its problems off the starting block, but it's still a good game, and it's going to be good to see it in action at the UVA 3. We did notice that you've got your sponsors, which is cool. And I suppose they're going to be there in force as well, or at least, how do you have that planned?
Well, what we're doing is we're getting together the mainly just products from the sponsors. Nobody's really said that they'll show up yet. But we got a lot of cool small sponsors this time. We're getting into some of the people that are doing computer customization. Is that the right word? PC Mod is doing some sponsoring, and what they make are these windows for the side of your computer. You can put lights inside, make your computer look really cool. We're going to be giving away a lot of that kind of stuff. We're trying to get as many T-shirts or hats or jackets or whatever we can get from these people, and we've done really well. With the guys that we've got out, searching for sponsors, and they've been really responsive. The one big one that's been very responsive is your sponsor, Balls. I get a letter from them every once in a while. They've been real good to us, and I think you guys are going to be giving away a case of Balls too. Yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff to give away. It's going to be really cool. I mean, it's really just going to be a giant, fun-packed party, and everyone in the staff channel and in the main channel just kind of counting down the days, getting ready for the fun. I love flying. I'm going to enjoy the flight out there, and then showing up. I'm showing up myself actually on the 4th, one night early, just to kind of, get rested and hang out a bit. And from what I hear about this hotel that you guys have chosen, it's like walking into the Garden of Eden. Oh my God, man! It's a 5-star hotel. It's unbelievable. It's completely colonial. I think it's all done just on 2 floors. I thought it was kind of funny when we first went into the place. They have the largest chandelier on the east coast of the United States, right outside of the game room that we're going to be in, the ballroom, actually. And, I mean, it's this huge chandelier, but the whole place is set up so that you walk in the entrance and you go towards the back past the registration stand in front. And the place looks like some kind of a tribe's base or something like that. It's unbelievable. If you took out the chandeliers, you could fly around up there and have a lot of fun with inventory stations and things. I hear you. So yeah, there'll be some imaginations running wild, I'm sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a blast for sure.
judging by the success it looks like it's had, having sold out the tickets like within 6-7 days, do you yourself, knowing what's everything involved in planning these events, do you feel that you're going to be continuing this kind of sojourn yearly for UVA 4, UVA 5, etc.?
We're hoping to continue this probably twice yearly. This has been the most stressful thing to put together that we've done yet. It's mainly been myself and Old School who have done all the work. We got to give a lot of props to a lot of people, and we'll do that at the LAN party. But in as far as organizing all those small pieces and bringing them together, it's been me and Old School all the way. It's been very stressful dealing with the hotel. They really had no idea what they were getting themselves into until we told them the kind of power requirements that we have. I just finished up doing some negotiating with them today on doing power drops in the room. We're going to be using, I think, something like 1,380 amps of power. I mean, it's just like unbelievable. You could run a small town on the amount of power that we'll be consuming. And they just finally got the idea that this is going to be really expensive, and they're looking to pass that expense on to us, of course.
Of course.
And we're standing with our pockets hanging out, going, guys, we have a bottom to our pockets. We're not a big corporation or anything, so it's been tough with them. But we'll do it again, and we know where to go, and we know how to negotiate at this point. I really prefer having it in a hotel kind of venue. We've talked about having it in an exposition center kind of place. But most of the places that we've looked into close at night. They don't want to keep staff overnight, and what we want to do is we want to run this thing, on up until at least 4 in the morning, and then give everybody a break, including the hotel, and put everybody to bed until 10 in the morning and restart then. But, if there's people that need to play all night long, we'll keep the thing going as long as we can. But it's just nice to have it in a hotel venue. People don't have to go out if they don't want to. They can stay right there at the hotel. You can order pizza into the place if you want to just order, some food to be brought in. I mean, so you don't have to have people running the streets all night long. And I guess there's a lot of teenagers coming in. So, the teenagers are welcome. There's a lot of guys bringing their parents, and that makes it more comfortable for the parents who can stay right there at the hotel. It's just good all around for everybody, I think.
One interesting question out there in the channel. Doggy has a good question now. You've kind of addressed the hours in which things will be open, but he is curious. He says, could you ask Cheater how security is going to work at UVA LAN? And, are people supposed to take their computers back to their room if they're going to go to sleep? Do they leave them there? How are you going to work that scenario? What's the story behind security?
Well, security is all going to be run by Disciple. If anybody knows Disciple from Tribes 2, he ran a really tight ship when it came to security. We have had no thefts whatsoever that I know of at that event or at the previous event. It's more or less everybody keeps their eye on everybody else's stuff, but he's going to be actually running a security crew. I think all of Z2 have been designated as security people, just to kind of keep their eyes on things. If people get a little too rowdy, they'll be sent to their rooms. I mean, nothing big or anything like that, but there's also the security in the hotel right there all by itself. They will have a couple of uniformed and armed security people on duty. And then there's outside security. I mean, somebody steals something and they get caught doing it. I guess they call in the local police. I think the best thing has been described on Tribal Wars several times now, and that is that, nobody's going to pick up a computer or a monitor and just walk out with it. We won't allow it. If you got little stuff hanging around, stuff that can be put into people's pockets, don't leave it out. Don't leave it laying around. If you've got a digital camera, something like that, you don't want to lose it. Keep it on your person at all times. A lot of people brought in a lot of stuff at UVA LAN 2, and they went to bed at night, and they came back in the morning, and everything was still there. When we close the room at night, it will be completely locked from the outside, so nobody can get in. So we're running the security just as tight as we can, but we want everybody to have a good time at the same time. I don't want anybody to feel like anybody's looking over their shoulder, keep an eye on them or anything like that, but if there's any complaints, we'll deal with it.
Well, it sounds like it's going to work out pretty darn good. I myself don't foresee any problems. This community can be very uppity on the forums, but in person they tend to kind of meld and get along good, and it will be...
that's really true.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt you there when you say that. Oh, my God, man, you have no idea. There's people that really seem to hate each other on the forums, and I have witnessed, more than two people get together and they start talking tribes, and all of a sudden, these guys are loving each other. It is just unbelievable. They find out that there's a whole hell of a lot that they have in common. They want to sit, they want to have a beer, they want to, go out to dinner together, stuff like that. It is just incredible when these guys get together. You can get, it really is an amazing thing, and that's probably what I cherish more than anything else when it comes to doing these things. What really makes me happy is seeing those people come together who, are sworn enemies on the forums, and all of a sudden they're sitting and talking and having a good time at the LAN party.
Definitely. There's a lot that can be healed face-to-face, as people come to meet. And I'm just, like I said, I want to meet everybody there. And I'm going to be there the whole time, and basically it's going to be fun. There's a lot of big names I want to meet, a lot of people I want to socialize with, people that I've known of or played tribes with for years and years. So I think the whole event is just going to be fantastic in general. UVA LAN 3 is coming up, guys. If you missed it, I feel bad for you, but you can tune into the shoutcast.
Well, have you heard from Breaker? That's what I'm wondering. Is Breaker going to make it?
That's a good question. Yes, he is. He's going to make it.
Good. I'll see his mom there then.
Okay.
I hope he's listening. That's kind of a joke between us.
Right. Any other shout-outs you want to do? Anything else you want to cover?
Well, I just want everybody to know that's coming. I want to meet each and every person individually. I want to see some name tags and figure out who these people are. There's a lot of faces that I don't have in my mind yet. They go with a lot of names. I've met a hell of a lot of people already that play tribes. There's some people that aren't even playing tribes anymore who are coming to this thing just to have a good time, just to have a lot of fun. But this, folks, is the big one, and I definitely want to sit down. I want to shake a lot of hands. I want to meet a lot of people, and that's what I'm going to be there for.
Well, sounds good. We're definitely anxious to meet you and to have a good time there at UVA LAN 3. Thanks a lot for letting me give you a call. And,
all right, Warwitch.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.
You think your summer's going to be boring?
Think again.
After the 4th and the fireworks are all gone, the explosions continue here on the Tribes Shoutcast Network.
Join us in Chantilly, Virginia as the TsN hits the road July 5th through July 8th to bring you all the LAN action from the biggest Tribes gathering ever thrown.
UVA LAN 3. Join your favorite TsN personality. Megaborg, Breaker, Pug Knight, Wonder Dog, Beat Stick,
wow,
Cold Shot, Warwitch, Alchemist, Murloc, Boomerman, Netstalker, Rav, Who-Man, Unnamed, and more.
As they cover all the Tribes 2 fun direct from the LAN battlefield. When?
July 5th through the 8th, Thursday through Sunday.
Where?
Westfield's Marriott Hotel and Conference Center, Chantilly, Virginia.
Be there, and only on the Tribes Shoutcast Network. TsN, a division of the Game Law Broadcasting Network.